is in no small part because of Bill Hall. A couple of memorable home runs.
Yeah, down in the pink bat is Mother Berge sitting in the stands at Miller Park for the second one. And who could possibly forget that? Bill Hall hit another one at Citi Field in New York. And some of the classic moments of Mother's Day. And what a better gift for Bill's Mother Berge than a couple of big homers.
Absolutely. And this has been a ballpark that is homer friendly by tradition. And it has certainly been that way in this series. 5 of them last night for Milwaukee, 3 of them from Aaron Hill. So if you turn this into home run derby, the Brewers, on the strength of last night's performance, have the edge. 8-7 going into this afternoon's series finale. Let's check out the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Alex Presley again at the top of the order, followed by Jonathan Villar and Ryan Braun. Jonathan Lucroy hitting cleanup, followed by Chris Carter, and Aaron Hill had a career night at the plate last night. Hernan Perez over at third, Ramon Flores in center, and Junior Guerra rounding out the Brewers batting order. And once again, the crew facing a lefty in the Reds rotation. And today's starter is John Lamb.
Yeah, another guy that the Reds got in that Johnny Cueto deal at the trading deadline last year. The Brewers have faced him twice. Now, last year, a pretty good start. 25 years old. He started the year on the disabled list, rehabbing back surgery in the offseason. And his first start of the year was a go and no decision against the Giants. Let's check out the Menards Reds defense. You got some changes from the first 3 games of the series. You got Tyler Holt out in center field. It's been Billy Hamilton in the first 3 games. Jordan Pacheco at third. Ivan DeJesus Jr. over at shortstop, and Ramon Cabrera behind home plate. So 4 regulars out of the lineup for Cincinnati here today.
And your umpires here for today's matchup. Gary Cedarstrom, he's the crew chief. He is out at second here this afternoon. Sean Barber is calling balls and strikes. Adrian Johnson at first. Jim Wolf is over at third as we are ready to go. And you notice the pink attire that the Brewers are wearing today to recognize Mother's Day 2016. And we are underway at Great American Ballpark as Alex Presley has been hitting the ball very well in this series, as you could see, including a couple of home runs. Faces John Lamb, the left-hander for Cincinnati, and the count is even, a ball, a strike. Well, quite the comeback last night for the Brewers. They have faced this man, Lamb, as Rock mentioned, a couple of times last year. Part of that Johnny Cueto trade is Presley will lift one into shallow center field, and that's Tyler Holt securing the first out of the day.
Yeah, some interesting tidbits in last night's ball game. You know, Aaron Hill with the 3 home runs, but Craig Counsell in the bottom of the 9th inning in a tie game, bringing in his closer, and he said that he wanted to get any way he could to get the middle of the Brewers lineup another chance to score some runs, and that's exactly what happened. Turned out didn't need, Jeffress in the 10th inning. So kind of going against the book, but it worked.
It absolutely did, as the Brewers put 7 on the board, matching a season high for runs in an inning. They also had 7 last weekend against Miami. And stepping in now is Jonathan Villar. And Villar was a part of that 7-run inning last night, a 2-run double, as the Brewers not only came back, ended up running away with a 13-7 win against the Reds, as Villar pops it up. And that'll be the shortstop, Ivan DeJesus. And quickly, there are 2 out here in the first inning. A rain delay of about 2 hours, but should be good to go the rest of the afternoon. And we will have baseball here today in Cincinnati.
Yeah, last thing the Brewers needed was another doubleheader. They already have one scheduled against the Cubs after a rain out, a split doubleheader. So better late than never. We get baseball here today.
The Brewers, after the game, will be headed down to South Florida to start a series with the Miami Marlins tomorrow night. Games tomorrow night, Tuesday and Wednesday night, before returning back home to Miller Park to start a homestand on Thursday evening against the San Diego Padres. Well, that home run barrage, Ryan Braun was a part of it. as he often is in this ballpark, where he has homered 19 times in his career. And this is sent deep to left field, and that's number 20 at Great American Ballpark for Ryan Braun, as the Brewers get the early jump here against John Lamb.
Well, home runs in back-to-back games for Brawny, 5 of them for the Brewers last night. And jumping on Lamb early here today. Off-speed pitch, and Ryan Braun able to wait back, and with the pink bat knocks it out of here. Full extension on that home run right there, a line out.
So once again, the Brewers not messing around in terms of getting the home runs. This is the first time in this series that Milwaukee has scored first. This is a team that's been playing from behind and was able to do so successfully last night. Trailed 4-0 early and then 6-2, and then went on that big run barrage there with a 3-run sixth, another run in the 8th, 7 in the 10th. Lucroy among those who homered last night. The 2 homers for Jonathan coming here in the last week for Milwaukee. Back in there behind the plate this afternoon. Had a pinch hit roll on Friday, but he still gets the vast majority of the starts. And swinging the bat very well this season with that very healthy 309 average.
Yeah, and the RBIs are starting to come for Lucroy as well. Starting to get some runs batted in. The Brewers really erupting in yesterday's ball game.
Lamb with the 1-2, and that is punched into right field, and that's going to drop a base hit. Looked like it was in on the hands, but Lucroy able to dump it into right in a 2-out single.
Yeah, that's that cut fastball from Lamb. He's got a good one. He doesn't throw hard, 90-91. And 4-seam fastball, the cutter and the changeup. He's also going to throw a loopy curveball in the upper 60s. That was the cutter that Lucroy able to get enough of to dump it into right field.
So a run in and a runner on here for Chris Carter. And a bit of an upset in that 5-homer game. None came from Carter, although he did homer in the series opener and had a couple of more hits last night. He's been hitting a few singles in this series, in addition to what was home run number 10 on Thursday evening.
Average up to 288. I think the Brewers were tickled with anything over 250 out of Carter.
And Carter pops this one up very high. DeJesus is there. And the inning is over, but a nice start for the Brewers, courtesy of Ryan Braun getting Milwaukee started. 1-0 going to the bottom of the first. started for the Brewers, a solo homer in the top of the first inning. Second homer in as many games for Brawny. And now Brian Price and the Cincinnati Reds getting their first at-bat here today. Third year at the helm for Price, who previously was the pitching coach for Dusty Baker's Reds. Here's the Reds batting order presented by Potawatomi. Tyler Holt in there at the top of the order. Avante Jesus and Joey Votto rounding out the top three. Brandon Phillips on a power surge. He gets cleanup, followed by Jay Bruce and Adam Duvall. Jordan Pacheco over at third. Ramon Cabrera behind the plate. John Lamb rounding out the Reds batting order against Junior Guerra, making his second start here in the big leagues.
Yeah, first one pretty good against the Angels. They picked up a win, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. 4 runs coming in the first 3 innings.
And Tyler Holtz in a different looking Reds lineup than what we had seen the first 3 games. In there in center for Billy Hamilton.
Hey, good to have Zach Cozart out of the lineup. That guy's been swinging a hot bat. Getting today off.
Yeah, Cozart throughout the first month and change among the top 5 in batting average. As we have seen work from him with the glove, and he continues to wrap out hits for this Reds team. But would come off the bench here if we see him at all this afternoon. It's Tyler Holt at the top of the order. Reds selected him off waivers. Previously been with the Cleveland Indians.
A lot of pink out there today. Honoring all the mothers out there, and happy Mother's Day. Even Sean Barber, the home plate umpire, is getting into the spirit, right?
Yes, he is. Got the big pink mask going there. Major League Baseball through the years has done a great job recognizing Mother's Day and doing the same here this afternoon and on into the games tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tyler Holt, making his 5th start of the year for the Reds. And he will lift one in a shallow right field, and this will be handled by Alex Presley for out number 1.
Yep, the Menards Brewers defense today got Braun Flores and Presley in the outfield. Alex Presley has been very good since getting some regular playing time out there. Perez, VR, Hill, and Carter from third to first. And once again, you got Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate.
Oh, 1 out here for Junior Guerra in the bottom of the first. And Avante Jesus Jr. steps in. His father, a good shortstop in his days with the Cubs and the Philadelphia Phillies. Ivan Jr., 28 years old. Originally drafted by the Dodgers back in '05. Last year appeared in about half the games in the Reds schedule.
And certainly losing a lot of the Reds in the top of their order with Cozart and Billy Hamilton out of the lineup today. You got to give them days off once in a while. Today's a day, and Brian Price has decided to give 4 guys a day off all at the same time.
Yeah, he's got that right side of the infield intact with Votto and Phillips, and Duvall in left, and a lot of changes. A lineup that was very familiar Thursday, Friday, and last night. Reds had their little winning streak snapped last night at 3, and the Brewers, after dropping 3 straight, got things back in order with that comeback win last night. A ball, 2 strikes to the Reds shortstop today, Avante Jesus. And a swing and a miss, and there are quickly 2 men out here in the home half of the first.
Yeah, 96 with a fastball, and he came out throwing that good fastball at first start against the Angels. 95, 96. He's got a slider and a changeup to go with it. Doing a nice job of pounding the zone in his first couple of starts.
As you mentioned, the Angels did a little damage early, and then he settled in and gave Craig Counsell a good 6-inning effort. And the Brewers were able to rally.
Yep, only walked 1, struck out 3, did not allow a home run in that start against LA.
And a lesson in perseverance. 31 years old. 3 appearances last year out of the bullpen for the White Sox. Those were his first 3 big league appearances. It was quite the journey. The 31-year-old from Venezuela, who originally signed with the Atlanta Braves back in 2001 and began his professional career as a catcher/outfielder, and a few years later became a pitcher at this level. He's had quite the odyssey, pitching worldwide.
In Mexico, Italy, independent ball, the Wichita Wingnuts.
That's right. And he is the picture of a man who just kept chasing his dream and was able to get it realized late last year, or during last year, with the White Sox, and then getting an opportunity here to be in the rotation, the starting rotation for the Milwaukee Brewers. A ball, 2 strikes to Joey Votto, who took 3 called third strikes last night. And he waves at this and does not get it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Junior Guerra. So a nice start for the Brewers as we are through 1 at Great American Ballpark. About late last night, and in good start today as we move to the second inning. 1-0 Milwaukee leading Cincinnati, and here is Aaron Hill. Oh, what a night he had last night for the Brewers. His last 3 at-bats, he played long ball against Cincinnati pitching. Hill entered the game with 8 RBIs on the season. He left the ballpark last night with 15 on the season.
Yeah, 3 homers. I mean, Aaron Hill's done some things that not a lot of guys in baseball have been able to do. 3 home runs in a game. I mean, that's a pretty short list. And then he had 2 cycles in the same year, actually about 10 days apart. Single, double, triple home run. I mean, not too many guys have done that either.
Yeah, including one at Miller Park in a visiting role. And you take a look at the history that Aaron Hill joined last night. The most RBIs in a game, and you see Ryan Braun there. He was the last Brewer to hit 3 homers in a game a couple of years ago against the Phillies. A 3 homers, 7 RBI night. So he had a good month last night.
Yeah, that's a pretty good week's worth of run production.
And he will take a called third strike here from John Lamb. First punch out for Lamb, and there is out number 1. Hey, we've teamed up with the Brewers to celebrate Hall of Fame moms and mother figures across Wisconsin. Fans are encouraged to share a photo that depicts how their mother figure is a Hall of Famer on Instagram or Twitter using hashtag BrewersHOFMom. 6 winners will get 2 sweet tickets for them and mom to join us for the Brewers and Dodgers game on Wednesday, June 29th. Going after the first pitch here is Hernan Perez, and he'll send it to Tyler Holt. And 2 up, 2 down in the second. John Lamb out of Southern California, Laguna Hills. Faced the Brewers a couple of times a year ago, along with Brandon Finnegan, part of that trade near the deadline for Johnny Cueto, the Kansas City Royals organization. Originally a 5th-round pick by the Royals back in 2008. Ramon Flores, he had a couple of hits last night.
Yeah, had a hit against the left-hander Finnegan early in the game, and he hit a ringing double later on. That was in the 10th.
A monster inning for Milwaukee in that 10th inning as the Reds, after ending a streak with the bullpen having given up runs in 23 straight team games, they were able to snap that on Friday night. But last night the Brewers rattled them around. Caleb Cotham was the primary victim, giving up 5 of the 7 runs the Brewers scored in the 10th. Also got to Drew Hayes.
Yeah, that bullpen's been a sore spot for this Cincinnati ball club this year, and it bared out last night.
2-2 pitch to Flores, a swing and a miss, and a couple of strikeouts for Lamb here in the second. Brewers go down in order. We're through an inning and a half.
Getting set for his second inning of work. Brewers with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. This is Guerra's second career big league start in his major league debut last Tuesday. This is him celebrating after picking up his first win. A baby powder, shower, milk, everything else going on there. That was his first career big league win. He pitched 6 innings, allowing 4 runs on 7 hits, becoming the 3rd oldest Brewer ever to pick up his first major league win at the tender age of 31. And Brewers pitching coach Derek Johnson was very impressed with his stuff. He said what we've seen so far today, his mid-90s fastball and his good breaking stuff, he was able to get a good mixture and come up with his first major league win in his major league debut.
All right, Telly, thank you very much. That's kind of your welcome to the ball club moment, right?
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, that means something. You've done something good. I mean, you don't get a treatment like that if you go an inning and 2/3 giving up 6 runs.
He was a guy who gave a lift to the staff, to the ball club. I mean, that's a pretty heavy hitters in that Angels lineup. You're kind of stepping into the deep end when you're dealing with guys like Trout and Pujols. And Garrett today trying to deal with Brandon Phillips, and he sends one to the deepest part of the yard, and Ramon Flores holds it in. This guy's homered in 4 straight games and made a strong bid for 5, but not this time.
Yeah, he's barreling up just about everything right now, particularly if you give him something inside. That one down the middle and up in the zone. You can see that uppercut for Phillips, and I think maybe for a second he thought it was out of the ballpark. But I don't see the ball traveling all that well. Maybe the left. It always carries the left pretty well, but the air is kind of thick. A little humidity in the air because of all the rain.
Yeah, last night it was a good night for the home run hitters. A little breeze kicking out to left, and a nice warm night, but a little more on the chilly side here today, but not bad. The rain has passed through, and after about a 2-hour rain delay, it's game on as Jay Bruce steps in.
2 teams got real lucky last night because about as soon as that game was over, the rain started to come, and Brewers already had their victory. Everybody on their way back to the hotel. Let it rain.
He had a pretty good light show going on. But good to go today. A ball, 2 strikes to Jay Bruce. Had a hit in 5 trips last night. He was homered in this series, something he has done very often, all too often against the Brewers in his career. The tune of 34 bombs Bruce against Milwaukee. 5 homers, 21 RBIs going into today's game.
They hit a hanging curveball first game of the series. About 3/4 of the way up in the bleachers and right. You got to catch this guy when he's not swinging the bat all that well. He's about as streaky as it gets.
And he's had some real hot streaks at the expense of the Brewers, but hopefully not today. Milwaukee a chance to get a split out of this 4-game set. And Guerra ready to bring the 2-2 pitch. And there's another strikeout for Guerra. That's 3 of them early on.
Not sure if that was a slider or the split change, one of the two, but regardless, it was an off-speed pitch. It might have been a slider. It didn't do a whole lot, but the speed is what fooled Bruce. Swings right through it, out in front of it.
2 up, 2 down here for the Reds in the bottom of the second. As Guerra gets ready to face Adam Duvall. Here's another of those Reds that was turning on the power. He had homered in 3 straight games, but was quiet in that department last night, but still had a couple of hits, and as you see, has had a very good series here for Cincinnati. Back out there in left field this afternoon. A good cut at a mid-90s fastball there, but he's behind 2 strikes to nothing.
Yep, off speed, then throws the big fastball. Did the same thing with Jay Bruce. Get a good game under your belt your first time out, and it gives you a lot of confidence to start mixing your pitches. Imperative he keeps that split change down in the strike zone today.
Bounces one up there to Lucroy. I think as Telly was telling us about Guerra, I think the thing that caught a lot of people's attention was the velocity. You know, we were talking about it on Tuesday. He can get it up there in a hurry. And he's ahead of Adam Duvall. A ball, 2 strikes. 5 homers, 10 RBIs for Duvall. And he will line to left. Braun right there. And another 1-2-3 inning. Guerra has faced 6. He has retired 6. 1-0 Brewers after 2.
As we head to the third inning here in Cincinnati, and the Brew Crew and the Cubs renew their rivalry at Miller Park as Chris Bryant and the 23-6 Chicago Cubs come to Milwaukee for a 3-game showdown. That's Tuesday, May 17th through Thursday the 19th. Go to Brewers.com to reserve your spot today. A juggernaut right now, the Chicago Cubs.
They break them up, huh? They're actually trailing through 3 today. They have handled the Washington Nationals so far in that series, but the Nats lead today 1-0 after 3. That's Tanner Roark and Jake Arrieta. The matchup. There's Junior Guerra. Retired the first 6 Reds he has faced up against John Lamb, and there's a bouncing ball to De Jesus. 1 up, 1 down. And there for Cozart today at short for the Reds. Back to the top of the order, Alex Presley. Seems like about every night here of late. It has been every night. We're talking about a guy who's getting a hit or a couple of hits. There's a couple of home runs in this series. Does Presley?
2 hits and an intentional walk last night. Both of his hits came against Finnegan, the left-hander.
The Brewers, after falling behind early last night, were able to get to Finnegan, who went 5+. Well, it turned into a tough outing for both of the starters, Jimmy Nelson and Brandon Finnegan. But off of Finnegan, they had 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 of which were earned. And went to work against that Reds bullpen. Ball 2 strikes for Presley, and there in right field is Domingo Santana, continuing to deal with the shoulder tightness. We've seen him in a pinch hit role, but out on the field, just not quite good to go. He has been these last few days a scratch in the lineup. Originally was on it, and then a change had been required.
And the Brewers don't feel as though it's serious enough to DL him, put him on the disabled list, but limited to pinch hitting duties right now.
And Lamb gets another strikeout. 2 outs here in the third for Milwaukee.
And Lamb's got that good cut fastball, and going with the 4-seamer right there. He's got that 3/4 delivery, kind of throws across his body a little bit and making it difficult on left-handed batters. They say he's a bit of a free spirit. I guess you can't tell that, could you?
No, you would never guess. It has that Southern California look. Saw him at Miller Park late August of last year, and then a few days later back here in Cincinnati. A loss and a no decision, and way out in front is VR, and he's down 0-2. VR, a 7-game hitting streak going into this game. Lamb went 6 against the Brewers last August 30th. That was the loss. 5 2/3 in a no decision on September 5th. Reds, or rather the Brewers, got to him on that day. 6 runs and 9 hits.
And he's had a good start. He's had a bad start. And there you see, the Brewers in the National League. A couple of guys, actually 3 of them on the list.
Lamb ready with a 1-2. There's that slow curve, and it just missed.
That's not one you're going to be looking for all that often, and most of the time he's going to be able to find the strike zone with it.
Working quickly, and VR sends one into left center field, and that is caught up against the wall by Tyler Holt. Well, they say he too can cover some ground, and he does just that, taking away extra bases from Jonathan VR. Through 2.5, it is 1-0 Milwaukee.
Mom, happy Mother's Day. You know, you've supported me through all the years, and I just want to say thank you, and I'll be playing for you on Sunday.
I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. You do so much great things, so many great things to support us, to keep us well taken care of. And I just want to say again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and to my mother especially, happy Mother's Day.
And we do the same up here from the broadcast booth. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Lee, my wife, Linda. Rock, your turn.
Yeah. My mother, Carol, in New Berlin. Kate, I hope she's watching today. And happy Mother's Day, sweetheart. My daughter, Mallory's a mother.
We have to cover all the bases here. We better.
Can't forget anybody. You'll hear about it.
Start doing that, and you miss somebody, and we're in trouble. Jordan Pacheco leading things off.
Think about mothers, their job's never done. Where the kids are 3 years old or 30 years old and always worrying about us, right?
Oh, absolutely. Still that little boy, right? Jordan Pacheco leading off here for the Reds in the bottom of the third against Junior Guerra. And there's a soft liner, and Aaron Hill will grab it for out number one.
Hey, I like the way Junior Guerra continues to throw strikes. I mean, there's a fastball in. Eats up Pacheco inside, and Aaron Hill able to grab it before it hits the ground.
Yeah, he is going right after people here in these early innings. Here's Ramon Cabrera. Going to start behind the plate for Tucker Barnhart today. Cabrera, 26 years old. Most of last year for AAA Louisville, this Reds organization. A call up in September, appeared in 13 games. A few days ago, the Reds announcing that Devin Mesoraco will undergo surgery in a couple of days now for a torn labrum. And it's the kind of injury and with the procedure required that could very well knock him out for the remainder of the year. We'll find out, but the Reds have a good catcher, regular catcher in Barnhart. Now Cabrera backing him up, and there's the first base runner of the day for Cincinnati. Guerra retired the first 7, issues a walk to Cabrera. Here's John Lamb.
Yeah, Guerra only walked 1 in his start against the Angels, and that's one of the things that helped him get through those 6 innings. 72 pitches through 6 innings. He was pretty efficient. You don't walk batters, you can do that.
Lamb takes a strike from Guerra. Only run so far given up by Lamb, a solo homer to Ryan Braun. And trying to bunt Cabrera up, but a foul ball, and quickly 0-2. Start number 2 at this level for Junior Guerra. Appearance number 5 overall in the big leagues for him. And 2 strikes, trying to bunt, and no play over at second, and the play is to a covering Aaron Hill. And there are 2 men out, sacrifice complete.
Yeah, he was thinking about second base, but he bobbled it, and once you get the bobble, you get the shore out at first. Right on top of him, and if he gets rid of it right away, I think he might have had a play, but you go the safe route with that being the second out of the inning. I don't think the grass is too wet in the infield. I mean, they had it covered very early. Not raining now, but I would imagine there's a little bit of moisture on that outfield grass. That could affect throws in from the outfield.
Yeah, they had that tarp at the ready. When we first got here, it was dry, but well aware that rain was on the way, and they got it covered up. top of the order, Tyler Holt, and he will send one deep to right field. Presley going back, and that goes off the wall. Holt runs well, rounding second, and he is all the way to third, and this game is tied.
Well, he's certainly made an impact already in this game. Tyler Holt, he made a great catch out in center field, taking extra bases away from VR, and now a triple with 2 outs. Hit that one pretty well to the opposite field. I mean, didn't get good extension on it, but taking Presley back off the wall. I think Alex got a little bit too close, actually slipped, and that allows Holt to get to third base. Hit that one well. He put a charge into that one to the opposite field.
Run scoring triple for Tyler Holt, and now Ivan DeJesus. He struck out in the first. The Reds get their first run here of the day. First run and first hit. The 0-1 pitch. Missing with a fastball. I mentioned DeJesus last year appeared in nearly half of the games on the Reds schedule. And hit his first 4 big league home runs a year ago. Drove in 28. Break even pitch. Sent out to right center field. This is a long run for Flores, and he can't get it. That'll bounce up against the wall. And it's a run scoring double for DeJesus, and the Reds take the lead.
Yeah, swing's a little better second time through, right? And the Reds get to see him one time and start to make adjustments. You can pick up the release point. You see what his pitch is doing in the strike zone, and middle in, a little bit more down than the one that Holt hit. Same result pretty much, right off the wall out there in a gap. And with 2 outs, back-to-back extra base hits for the Reds, and they take a lead.
And a chance now for Votto to pick up Ivan DeJesus. After that RBI double, Votto struck out swinging to end the first inning. Guerra pumps a fastball in there. We talked about the Brewers bats coming alive last night. The Reds pretty strong throughout this series and doing a ton of damage in the early innings. It's been a big part of it, and that was happening again last night. The Reds scored in each of the first 3 innings. But unlike Thursday and Friday, Milwaukee was able to come back and win going away, which is kind of odd to say that about an extra inning game, but that was exactly what happened. Lucroy has to reach out and snag that. 2-1 now to Votto. That first inning strikeout, Votto has gone down on strikes 33 times already this season. Batting average at .226.
Got him on a split change in that first inning. Good one.
Guerra sends the 2-1. He retired the first 7. The Reds getting to him here in inning number 3. A walk, an RBI triple, and an RBI double, giving Cincinnati the lead. And Votto to center field. That's going to fall a base hit. DeJesus will score, and it's a 3-run inning for Cincinnati.
The hits have been in on all 3 of the Reds. I mean, the first 2 extra base hits, middle in, Holt, DeJesus taking it to the opposite field. This time Votto gets jammed and able to dump it into center field. But that pitch was in as well. Votto able to get the third consecutive 2-out base hit. And the Reds with a 3 spot.
And this requires a quick trip to the mound as pitching coach Derek Johnson, joined by Luke Croy there, trying to get things straightened out with Junior Guerra. Rolled through the first 2 innings, getting 3 strikeouts on the way, but it's amazing this game. A lot of things have changed about it, but some things haven't. You just mentioned it a couple minutes ago, Rock. You get a look, you get a live look. You can look at all the data, you can look at whatever video there is, but you get that first time through.
Look at his pitches, you see the release point. There's no real replacing that. And these major league hitters, they adjust quickly.
Brandon Phillips has homered in 4 straight games, trying to join this company in the history of the Reds franchise. They've gone deep in 5 straight, including a couple of Hall of Famers in there. It starts with Ted Kluszewski.
And Junior going in this year.
That's right. Oh, and 1 the count to Brandon Phillips. Vincent Kluszewski, he was the guy who every day was the gun show, right? Had the shirt sleeves up, just showing off the arms.
Sleeveless jerseys back in those days,
No balls, 2 strikes to Phillips. Took safely in 6 straight games. Guerra trying to get out before the Reds cause some more damage. Phillips fly deep to center his first trip, and this is to shallow left at his second at bat. That'll do it for the Reds, but a 3-run inning, and we are through 3 here in Cincinnati. Home runs in this series, and when you think home runs, of course you think Bartolo Colon. Check this out. Last night in San Diego, no doubt, he crushed it.
Yeah, not known as a hitter. That's an understatement. Look at the silent treatment. Not even anybody in the dugout. Here they come. They can't control themselves anymore.
Leads us to our Carsoup.com trivia question. Who's the oldest player in Brewers history to hit a home run? That Bartolo Colon blast, that's going to live on forever. He often makes the highlight reel.
Yeah.
For, running down pop-ups, his hat flying off.
Or maybe a very funky swing at the plate, but not for a home run.
No. In San Diego, of all places.
Good for him.
Yeah. Ryan Braun. He homered. Get the scoring started. 2-out solo shot in the first inning against John Lamb. Not a lot of at-bats against Lamb, but he's gone to work against him. 4 for 6 going back to last year, and a couple of home runs. And he will draw a walk here. Here's what Bronny did in the first inning.
Yeah, he's always hit lefties very well, and if a left-hander doesn't have much on the baseball, good luck to you, because Ryan Braun can wait back and hit it out of the ballpark. Home run for his mom, Diane, back in California.
Leadoff walk for Diane's son. We'll start inning number 4. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy has singled to right field in the first inning. We talked about Brewers with hitting streaks. He's had 1 of 8 and 1 of 7. A couple of hits last night, including a home run. It's not a game unless you're talking about him making impressive blocks behind the plate, or, as was the case last night, a couple of foul tips to the face, to the mask. But as usual, grinding through it and helping his team with a win.
It's like the morning coffee. I mean, the day isn't complete for Lucroy unless that happens to him. Typical day behind home plate for a major league catcher.
Yeah. Cup of coffee and a little jolt in the morning, and you get jolted a few times at the ballpark. Foul tips. Southern California born John Lamb, 25 years old. 2-1 pitch to Lucroy, out in front there.
Nice changeup. Lamb started on the disabled list this year, made 3 rehab starts. He was recuperating from off-season back surgery. He had disc surgery in his lower back.
He was back in early December. Tommy John surgery back in 2011. Another one of those prospects that they are counting on here when they gave up Johnny Cueto. 2-2 pitch to Lucroy.
Pretty good deal for the Reds, right? They trade Johnny Cueto to Kansas City. He's no longer there. Of course, Cueto got a World Series. We get a couple of starting pitchers and others.
Yeah, the feeling was they were going to lose him anyway. It was the final year of his contract, and a team that was out of contention. And those prospects, Lucroy with a liner to center, and that's Holtz with the catch, and there's out number 1. We talked about the early innings here in this series and what the Brewers have been up against, and it is continuing here today with Cincinnati off to the 3-1 lead. And those first 3 innings have been ugly for the Brewers. They couldn't climb out of it on Thursday night and Friday night, but they did last night. But look at that, 19-1 in the early innings.
Yeah, and a lot of the damage in the series, the home run ball. The Cincinnati Reds have been swinging the bats, hitting the home runs as of late.
There's Chris Carter. As we mentioned, a game of home run derby between these two clubs. 9-7 if you're keeping track of that in Milwaukee's favor, but the Reds the 7 through the first 3 games. They had 4 on Wednesday against the San Francisco Giants. Carter with 10 homers, 5 of them last week. including Thursday night here in Cincinnati.
And that was a blast to center field.
Popped out to shortstop in the first inning. Still with a very impressive .286 batting average, including 20 extra base hits. 10 homers, 10 doubles for the first baseman. We've seen him again in this series and throughout the course of the season so far make some very impressive plays over at first. It's digging out low throws, laying out to grab a line drive.
And that's what's not talked about a whole lot with the game for Chris Carter. I mean, everybody talks about the home runs, the extra base hits, how he's been able to get his average up in a pretty good spot. But defensively, he's been very good. Not great range, but if he can get to it, he's going to be able to make a play.
Count is full now to Carter. Matchup of two pitchers making their second starts of the season. 3-2 pitch to Carter. Swung on and lined out to center field. Another chance for Holt. 2 outs.
Hey, a week from today, the Brewers and the Padres square off in a Sunday matinee at Miller Park, and all kids 14 and under will get a Jonathan Lucroy replica jersey courtesy of Quick Trip. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
And there he is.
Not the gray one, not the gray Mother's Day jersey, but the blue.
Correct.
You still have that jersey?
I do, as a matter of fact. I've got it safekeeping, safe location. There's a check swing off the bat of Aaron Hill. De Jesus makes the play, and that's it for the Brewers. A leadoff walk, but that's it. Still 3-1 Cincinnati. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Clouds breaking up here along the Ohio River, separating this city from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Did you have Nyquist to win the Derby yesterday?
I did not. Gun runner.
Okay. You know, he's hanging in there.
Yeah, he was.
Late
third.
fade.
Yep, third.
Yep. A little rain down there in Louisville, but fortunately it escaped us here in Cincinnati until not long after the game. Jay Bruce leading things off for the Reds. He struck out in the second inning, and he will send one out to left field. Ryan Braun, 1 out. Hey, Brewers fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go.
Are you big into the ponies? Or just the big races?
Just the big races, yeah. I'm just kind of that fair weather front runner kind of guy, you know, the big event. But you've actually been to, not on Derby Day, but on the events that lead to Derby Day. I have never had the chance to visit Churchill Downs.
Yeah, it was a great time. We had an off day here, and a bunch of us went down to Churchill Downs, and they were actually running.
Yeah.
Had a good time. Did get a chance to partake in the mint julep.
You did?
Yeah. They do have them there other than at the Derby.
I've heard that. Adam Duvall with a fly ball hit back into right center field, and he's done it again. My goodness. Power surge continuing for Adam Duvall. Opposite field homer, 4-1 Reds.
Hey, you hate it when the game interrupts a good story.
It's really starting to irritate me.
But it's good that story has come to an end. And again, it's middle in again, and Duvall taking this one to the opposite field. The Reds are taking that fastball that's not necessarily away, but down the middle, more toward the inside part of the plate, and shooting it to the opposite field this time for a big fly. You see that fastball for Guerra, very straight. I mean, he's got good velocity on it. Mid to upper 90s, 94 to 96, but pretty straight. And the Reds, second time through, have been able to barrel it up pretty well.
So that is home run number 8 of the series for the Reds. 6th for Duvall as Jordan Pacheco pops one up, and Lucroy will have a play. 2 outs. Guerra got through the first 2 innings. 1, 2, 3. Retired the leadoff hitter Pacheco in the 3rd, but they're starting to measure him here in a 4-1 lead for Cincinnati. Here's Ramon Cabrera. Recalled from Louisville on Monday. And this is his 2nd start. He was in the lineup in Wednesday's win against the Giants and was hitless in 4 at-bats in that game. He walked in the 3rd inning here today.
They've actually got 3 guys that can catch these Cincinnati Reds. You got Barnhart, who's right now the everyday guy. Cabrera and Pacheco, who started his career as a catcher. He can play all over the place, catches infield, outfield, and so they do have an emergency catcher.
Yeah, Pacheco over at 3rd here today. And on the brink of walking for the 2nd time.
Tucker Barnhart got the first 3 games of the series.
Good defensive catcher. (3-1) pitch to Cabrera, and he draws a walk for the 2nd time this afternoon.
Can't seem to throw him strikes, huh?
No.
I mean, missing badly on a couple of occasions. The only 2 walks issued by Garrett, both coming to Cabrera in the number 8 spot. Maybe being a little bit careful with the 8 hitter and going after the pitcher.
It's that line you hear, though, when that happens, that from the other side, that you at least turn over the lineup. You'd love to start an inning facing the opposing pitcher, unless he's one of those, and there are some who have a pretty good bat.
Yeah, 3rd inning started after 1 out. Cabrera walked, and after a sacrifice, 3 consecutive hits to score 3 runs. So the inning really got going for Cincinnati with the walk. It's not the first time that you've heard that in baseball, right?
No, no. 2 or 3 times through the years, right?
It won't be the last either. Those walks.
And the Reds are not a team, with the very notable exception of Joey Votto, who 4 times has led the National League in drawing walks. This is a Reds team that is very aggressive. They have the fewest walks in the National League going into the game.
And to go back to last night's game, the only walk issued by Brewers pitching, that was in the first inning to Billy Hamilton, and he came around to score.
Yeah, stole a couple of bases and scored on an error. And there's a little chopper over to short. VR with the feed to Hill, and no damage done with the walk, but a solo homer increases the Reds' lead to 3. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Look at downtown Cincinnati on a Sunday afternoon. Reds leading the Brewers 4-1. Runs on the board here in innings 3 and 4 after Junior Guerra took care of the first 6, actually first 7. There's always a few Brewer fans out on the road. See if they can watch their team rally like the Brewers did last night here at Great American Ballpark. And yes, the sunglasses, well, at this very moment, maybe not required, but it will be. It's going to continue to get better. It's a good look anyway.
Sun's out in Milwaukee. The sun's out north of us, and the sun is out south of us. And
yeah. Big old cloud here.
It's kind of a very thin band that passed through, and we were lucky to be able to get this one in today.
Yeah, it was not looking good there for quite a while. We were told that for a time, it's since changed, that we might have to deal with this for quite a while, but looks like we're going to be okay here. Knock on wood. That was a pretty solid chief meteorologist report you just gave.
Thin band.
Thin band, yeah, that was good.
I decided to pull up the radar. I'm not a big, radar guy in rain delays because everybody else is doing it.
Mm-hmm. And you did avoid the word window that I just failed to avoid.
Right.
We're in a big old window right now.
Speaking of the sun.
Yeah. Hernan Perez. Looking for his first hit here in the series. And he has hit pretty well in his brief time back up with the Brewers. The ball to strike as he faces John Lamb. And ahead of that curve, and a slow one at that, 1-2. Five-year-old lefty, second straight game that the Brewers have faced a left-handed starter. Brandon Finnegan got the call last night, and a curveball bounces up there at a grand total of 58 miles per hour.
Yeah, how slow can he throw it and still reach home plate? Well, a little bit of concern right here for Lamb as the training staff and Brian Price go out. He doesn't look like he's feeling all that good, does he?
No, might have been a reason for that. Now his curve is a slow one. It could be like upper 60s, but 60s, not 50s.
He's not exuding a lot of confidence in his facial expressions, and looking at his hand, the arm area.
Athletic trainer out there to look at him.
And checking out the strength of the fingers, spreading the fingers out, seeing if he can keep the fingers apart. And not sure, in the hand somewhere, I guess. That's what they're looking. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary here. And you see the big follow through. The arm comes whipping around in the leg. I don't think that's the cause of it. This doesn't look good. I mean, It doesn't look like Lamb is giving them any reason to think he can stay in the game. They're going to let him throw a couple. You can see him looking at the area between the thumb and the index finger and the webbing in there, and maybe pop something. Maybe it'll go away. Who knows? And the one thing Brian Price does not want is to have to go to his bullpen this early. That bullpen has been a real mess this year for Cincinnati. He doesn't look good. I don't think he's going to be able to continue.
Yeah, his day is done. Ends up going 3 2/3, a break in the action. The Reds making an unscheduled change there as Lamb cannot continue. It's a 4-1 game. The Reds lead Milwaukee, but Cincinnati going to the bullpen here. A 3-run game. But the complexion may have just changed dramatically. We'll continue.
Saturday, May 14th, as Platinum artist Andy Grammer takes the stage to perform a free post-game concert presented by Pick and Save, following the Brewers matchup with the Padres.
Let's get you caught up on how we're at where we are right now. A 4-1 lead for Cincinnati. Good start to the Brewers. Ryan Braun with a 2-out solo homer. The good thing started the right way for the Crew. Junior Guerra went through the first 2 innings and looked terrific, but then the Reds went to work in inning number 3, putting a 3 spot on the board. Tyler Holt a triple, Evande Jesus a double, run scoring single off the bat of Joey Votto. And then in the 4th inning, this from Adam Duvall.
Yeah, those 3 runs in the 3rd inning, all coming with 2 outs.
John Lamb, some sort of trouble looked like with the left hand, the pitching hand. So Ryan Price has to go to his bullpen, and Steve Delabar is in there for Cincinnati.
Yeah, we saw him last night. He came in when Finnegan was pulled in the 6th inning. A scoreless inning, struck out a batter. He started the year in spring training with the Blue Jays. Did pretty well. 8 appearances for the Blue Jays in spring training, a .235 earned run average. Then got released on March 1st. And the Reds signed him on April 2nd. So he was actually not with anybody for about a month. And here he is trying to pick up the slack for John Lamb, who had to come out of the game quickly, and Delabar had not been throwing, so he's going to get as much time as he needs.
Well, as he continues to warm up, let's go downstairs, check in with Telly Hughes.
Well, Matt, Aaron Hill was not the only Brewer in the organization to hit 3 home runs last night. Check this out. Brett Phillips for the Biloxi Shockers. 3 home runs, 6 RBI, but the one thing he will certainly have to work on is his celebration, because after his 3rd home run, you'll soon see he definitely needs some work on it. But he had 6 RBI for the Biloxi Shockers, and here you go, right here. Not sure exactly what that is, but 3 home runs, you should be able to do exactly what you want to do. And once again, it's very rare the 2 players in the same organization have 3 home run nights, but it's exactly what Aaron Hill and Brett Phillips was able to do. As you take a look at what he's done the first 27 games this season, hitting .274, 5 home runs, 3 of which coming last night, and 6 of those 21 RBI also coming last night, Matt.
Yeah, he's quite a talent, Brett Phillips. And what he's doing with the Shuckers right now is, remember, that's Double-A.
Right.
We talk about him a lot, but they still want to be patient with him. Terrific arm out in center, but yeah, it's pretty cool. You get a 3-homer night from one of your top prospects, and you get a 3-homer night from your veteran Aaron Hill.
Yeah, I mean, Brett Phillips has got a bright future in baseball. He's going to be a good big leaguer. I mean, he's got all the tools. I mean, you talk about his hitting, the 3 home runs. He's a guy that hits for a pretty good average ordinarily, and he's a terrific outfielder. He's got good speed, a terrific throwing arm. We saw that in spring training. Very limited time in spring training. He was injured throughout most of the spring. I believe it was an oblique injury that sidelined Phillips through spring training. Disappointing that we didn't get a chance to see him. And not to be outdone, Aaron Hill, a 3 home run game last night, and certainly that big grand slam in the 10th inning provided the big blow for the Brewers' victory last night.
Well, in this situation, of course, Steve Delabar gets all the time he needs. It's 4+ for John Lamb. And a 2-2 count inherited by Steve Delabar against Hernan Perez as we resume play here at Great American Ballpark. And Perez going after the first offering from Delabar. And remember, the count is 2-2. Well, it's 4 innings, a couple of hits, a run, the solo homer to Braun, a walk, and 3 strikeouts for Lamb before he had to exit. 2-2 pitch to Perez, and he'll foul it again. A fly ball to center. First trip for Perez here this afternoon. The 2nd inning. And Perez swings and lifts one back into left field, and that is gone. A home run. Number 3 for Hernan Perez as the home run barrage continues.
Well, he's something else. I mean, he's been swinging a good bat, and once again, the Cincinnati bullpen giving up some runs. That didn't take long. Well, Delabar comes in with a 2-2 count, and Perez able to knock one out of here. Home run number 2 for the Crew here today. Check it out, sinking fastball, and he's able to turn on it, keep it fair, and knock it out of here to left. That one out of here by plenty.
A 4-2 ball game as Ramon Flores steps in. The Brewers hit 5 of them last night and 2 so far today. 1 from Braun, 1 from Perez.
Probably the worst case scenario for Brian Price. I mean, Lamb was throwing the baseball pretty well after allowing the home run to Braun, and as problematic as that bullpen has been for Cincinnati, the last thing you wanted to do is have him in the game in the 5th inning.
That's 24 of 25 games now that the Reds bullpen has given up at least a run. Remember, we are just in the 5th inning.
And 5 Reds relievers were used in last night's game,
including 2 innings of work from J.C. Ramirez. Delabar worked an inning last night. There's Ross Ollendorf, Caleb Cotham, who really had the rough night, and then Drew Hayes, a strikeout swinging there for Ramon Flores. We keep the totals here with the long balls at a ballpark that can be very generous to hitters. 10-8, the Crew with the edge right now.
home run count. Yep. It's amazing, this ballpark. It gives up a lot of home runs, particularly during the day once the summer starts warming up.
Junior Guerra grounded to short in the 3rd inning. Delabar quickly out in front, 2 strikes and nothing. And that'll do it for Guerra. 2 outs here in the 5th. Delabar, 32 years old, was a late pick in the 2003 draft, 29th round by the Padres, but he was an all-star in 2013 with the Blue Jays. 55 appearances and a .322 earned run average that year for Toronto, splitting 10 decisions. Alex Presley 0 for 2, a fly ball to center and a strikeout in the 3rd inning. A bouncing ball over to first, and Votto will feed Delabar, and that'll do it for Milwaukee in the 5th. But Hernan Perez with the 2nd long ball of the day for Milwaukee. Braun had one of the first. Perez in the 5th. Halfway through, it's 4-2 Cincinnati.
home run has cut the Reds' lead in half to make it a 4-2 ball game in the bottom of the 5th inning. Time to check in with the crew in the community. Join Brewers pitcher Matt Garza and teammates for the Brewers Bowl-a-thon on Sunday, August 14th. Enjoy a silent auction and bowling with Brewers players while raising money for the Meta House, which offers substance abuse treatment services to help women reclaim their lives from the effects of drugs or alcohol. Sign up today. To register, visit brewers.com/bowling or call 414-902-4581.
Thank you much, Telly. Top of the order here for Cincinnati, Tyler Holtz. He made an impressive play out in center field today. He's in the lineup in place of Billy Hamilton. Holt tripled to right his last trip in the 3rd inning, an RBI triple.
Yeah, it's always good when your bench players are able to get a start and contribute early. Holt to Jesus, able to come up big in that 3rd inning with 2 outs. Hey, look at this Reds lineup coming to the ballpark today. You're feeling pretty good about your chances, and 4 of their regular starters are out of lineup. But you never know how some of these guys that get inserted into the lineup don't play every day. These guys are excited to be in there and able to contribute early.
Ball 2 strikes to Tyler Holtz. Check out the days so far for Junior Guerra. And Rock, this is to your point a little while ago. Once you see him, maybe in some cases just the one time, and this is an example of that, you have an idea of what he's bringing.
But it was just the opposite in his start against the Angels, right?
It was.
I mean, had trouble early and then able to settle down and get the Angels out pretty easily. So you never know in this game. I mean, it's one thing or another, and just the way things fall. And most of the damage that has been inflicted upon Guerra has been on the fastball middle end, and most of the hits have come to the opposite field,
including Holt's triple. Similar story with DeJesus, who's on deck. His double was the other way, and Holt rolls one over to Hernan Perez, and there's out number 1. With a homer off Steve Delabar in the top half of this inning. If you're just joining us, John Lamb was pitching well for Cincinnati, but had to leave with a 2-2 count against Perez. Some type of an issue with his left hand, his pitching hand, so he gave way to Steve Delabar. Perez took him deep, and then Delabar retired the next 3 hitters. Here's DeJesus, the shortstop. This is lifted into shallow right field. Presley, 2 outs. So hopefully, and perhaps we're seeing it, Guerra starting to resettle. After a 3-run 3rd and another run of the 4th from the Reds. There's Chris Capuano. Himself ready. Votto sends one the other way down the line, but that will slice foul.
It's probably getting loose just in case Holt and DeJesus had been able to get on base, and Capuano may be getting ready for Votto and Bruce. Phillips sandwiched in between, but right now 2 outs, nobody on, kind of standing down a little bit.
And the Brewers will have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, so if you're thinking something along those lines, it's not at that point of the batting order. 0-2 now the count to Votto. He had a hit last night. Struck out looking 3 times. RBI single his last trip here today.
Takes some unusual swings with 2 strikes. He really does. Even on that base hit that he got in the 3rd inning into center field, almost just trying to put the bat on the baseball, a little excuse me swing, and you see how much he chokes up. Interesting for a number 3 hitter.
Very.
You take that as opposed to, you know, the swings and the approach of Ryan Braun. Much more aggressive, looking to drive the baseball.
Here comes the 1-2.
Some hitters, when they're not swinging the bat all that well, and Votto has not in the early going this year, feel as though, you know, the more pitches I see, you know, you can actually walk your way out of slump sometimes, and Votto does a fair amount of that. But there have been times in this series that he has not been very aggressive, even when he's had the count in his favor.
And that's certainly, you know, with the 3 strikeouts last night. But he is a guy that we've talked about here in this series, has led the National League 4 times in walks, 143 of them last year. That was a career high for Votto. MVP in the National League back in 2010. And he taps one. And a work away from the shift to no avail as Villar was there. And it remains 4-2 Cincinnati after 5. Leading Milwaukee at a Great American Ballpark. Time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Check out what's going on. The Brewers will face the Marlins in Miami tomorrow night. They fall to Philadelphia today 6-5. Pirates lead the Cardinals in the 7th inning. Indians on top of the Royals. And how about this? Jake Arrieta might actually take a loss. 3-1 Nationals. Bottom of the 6th there. Jonathan Villar leading off 2, 3, and 4. Villar, Braun, and Lucroy for Milwaukee.
Arrieta out of the game after 5 innings. 3 runs, 2 earned, 4 walks for him.
Not bad.
His earned run average has ballooned to 1.13.
Yeah, that's a potential contract killer. If that's all he can bring to the party. 2-0 to Villar is away as Delabar back out there. Villar looking for his first hit. Pinch double, RBI, 2-run double actually. That big 10th inning last night, 3-1 the count. Continues to lead this team in walks with 16 and leads the National League in stolen bases with 8, and he sends one to left center field, and Duvall secures it for the first out.
Yeah, Brewers have had some hard hit balls that have been caught in the outfield, and the Reds had Duvall shaded perfectly, a little bit pinched in the gap. Barely had to move.
The question is, can the Brewers moving forward here continue to attack this Reds bullpen and be rewarded for it? Perez with a home run in the last inning off Delabar. Here's Ryan Braun. He homered in the first and walked in the fourth. Good cut there at a Delabar fastball. Here's Braun at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. That 1-for-1 with a walk extends Ryan's hitting streak to 8 games. He is 14 for 33, better than a 400 clip. Well, it's been obviously a tough beginning to this Brewers season, but he has just been terrific. Ryan Braun. There are some very encouraging storylines with what Ryan has been doing. Chris Carter, Lucroy, what Alex Presley has brought here in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but as far as Ryan Braun's concerned, I think Craig Counsell has done a pretty good job managing his games and giving him days off from time to time, and maybe giving him an off day before a team off day to make sure that back's going to stay strong and he's not going to have any problems with that thumb.
On a foul tip there to count as even at 2-2. Yeah, he says he's feeling pretty good, all of those things considered, what you're talking about, and the numbers would suggest just that. Among the leaders in a lot of offensive categories. Able to get a piece there of a mid-90s fastball and stay alive.
Well, everybody knows how important Ryan Braun is to this lineup, and although he cannot be in there every single day, you'd like to see him. It's somewhat of a disappointment. You come to the ballpark and Ryan's name is not in the lineup. It's a completely different look to the whole batting order. But you got to give him a day once in a while.
If you can find a way to get about 140 of them out of Braun, 140 games, and that's pretty good. Delabar ready with the payoff pitch. And a fly ball in a shallow center. That's Holt coming out. Phillips going out, and he can't get it. Braun's going to get 2 out of it.
That's just a bad read out there in center field. That terrible read. I mean, that ball was up there a long way, and Ryan got jammed on it. It froze Holt out there, and he just couldn't get there. He's playing deep to start with. And look how high this ball is up in the air, and Holt goes back and over, and then he has to come in, and it's too late. Closest guy is Phillips, and look how far out in the center field he is. Misses it by about a foot, and then he kicks it. But that's just a bad read out in center field.
Holt earlier in this game made a very impressive catch, taking away extra bases on a drive off the bat of VR. But yeah, misplay there, and Brewers now have the tying run at the plate. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. Well, the official word on John Lamb is a sprained left thumb. That's why he had to exit early in the 5th inning. He had a 2-2 count on Hernan Perez, but a sprained left thumb ended Lamb's day, and Delabar came in, gave up the homer.
And I guess the only way you do that is, flipping off that curveball. He threw 2 in a row, and the second one is when he had problems with it. You're not going to really do that with a fastball or a changeup. I mean, because the thumb really just stays underneath the baseball. And a curveball, though, you get a little bit of a rotation on that thumb, and that's probably how it happened.
Ball is strike to Jonathan Lucroy. Both teams with 4 hits. Both teams have stranded 2 so far. Lucroy a single to right field and a fly ball to center. Good rip there.
Good pitch to hit. Luke would like to have that one again.
.313 average for the Brewers catcher. Facing a pitcher who at one time was a substitute teacher before getting back into this line of work. And there's a ground ball. That's a fair ball down the line. Braun's going to turn third and score. Lucroy on his way to second, and the Brewers are within a run.
And that's a game of inches, isn't it? They're rolling it right over the third base bag and down the line into the corner, and the Brewers to within one now. Well, the misplay out in center field cost the Reds a run. Look at this one, right down the line over third base, and an RBI for Lucroy. Just barely fair. You can see third base umpire Jim Wolf right on it.
Pitching coach Mark Riggins making his way out to the mound to chat with Steve Delabar, as we just talked about it. The storyline now, can they continue to get some work done against this Reds bullpen? And the early signs are very encouraging. A Perez homer and then back-to-back doubles here in the sixth from Braun and Lucroy.
And the other question is, as you get through this game, who are the Reds going to go to in that bullpen? I mean, everybody's been used quite a bit. Ramirez 2 innings yesterday. Cotham's been used 2 days in a row. He pitched 2 innings a couple of days ago. So that bullpen in bad shape, and Brewers need to take advantage of it.
Here's Chris Carter. A big chance for Milwaukee here if they can come back and win this game and get a split in a series where very little was going right. Next to nothing actually on Thursday and Friday and early last night. The Crew got the rally and the 6-run win as it turned out. As you look at Blake Wood getting loose in the Reds bullpen. Saw him on Friday night briefly. 1-1 the count to Carter. .660 slugging percentage for Carter, has him among the leaders in the National League. 10 homers, 10 doubles. Delabar sends the 1-2. This ball is inside. Got in via fan vote. The All-Star game 3 years ago did Delabar. The 2-2. Carter has worked the count full.
Big guy that just throws that fastball. It seems like it's effortless for him. And although he's not throwing in the mid to upper 90s, 92, 93 with a little bit of movement, kind of sneaks up on you given how big he is.
And Carter works a walk, and now the Brewers have runners at first and second, just one out here in inning number 6. Let's take a look at the Powerball Brewers home run leaderboard. Chris Carter just drawing that walk leads the way with 10. Ryan Braun with number 7 here this afternoon. And Scooter Gennett and Aaron Hill rounding out the leaderboard with 4 home runs apiece.
Well, it shouldn't be much longer for Scooter on the DL. Eligible to come off on, what is it, today the 8th, the 10th.
Get a little game action, it sounds like, at Brevard County. In the next couple of days as Aaron Hill steps in. As Telly reported yesterday, Scooter was able to get in full go BP work on Friday. Looked really comfortable in there, getting the work in, and the feeling is, and it was thought all along, obliques can be obviously a very scary thing and keep you out for a while, but the feeling was it was not going to keep him out for an extended period, and that appears to be the case with Gennett.
Man, it happened on one of those cold days at Wrigley during batting practice, and kind of no surprise, as cold as it was, and precautionary to put him on the disabled list.
Aaron Hill with a fly ball into shallow right field. That's Jay Bruce. 2 men out. Hill still looking for his first hit. Now 0 for 3. Here is Hernan Perez. We're talking about home runs. Hernan Perez got back into that conversation, as this was how he greeted Delabar in the last inning. Number 3 on the season for Hernan Perez, and there will be a pitching change as he will not get a chance to face Delabar a second time here today. 1-run game here in Cincinnati. Brewers with 2 on, 2 outs. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. 4-3, Reds lead the Brewers. Pitching change here in Cincinnati. 2 outs, 2 on for Milwaukee as Steve Delabar will exit, and entering is Blake Wood.
Yeah, didn't pitch yesterday, but pitched on Friday. A third of an inning, gave up 2 hits. That included a strikeout. Well, he has the one reason, I guess, Brian Price bringing him in. He's stranded all 6 inherited base runners. And he's got first and second and 2 outs.
Pitcher number 3 for Cincinnati. John Lamb had to leave in the 5th inning because of a sprained left thumb. Hernan Perez a swing and a miss.
Yeah, Delabar had 39 pitches in an inning and 2/3. I would imagine they're keeping an eye on his pitch count, which is why you take him out.
Let's see what Perez can do. He greeted Delabar with a home run in relief of Lamb. Let's see what he does with Blake Wood. And that's going to get away from Cabrera, and the runners will advance. 2nd and 3rd now for Milwaukee.
Yeah, that might be a pass ball. That's one that Cabrera probably should have had. I don't know if it hit the ground, but he had the backhand. Let's check it out. Yeah, you got to catch that. Yeah, that went under the glove, and not a wild pitch. They're going to give him a wild pitch.
They're going to call, yep. That's what they're going to call it for the moment. Lucroy at 3rd, Carter at 2nd. A 2-1 count to Hernan Perez. So a base hit could give the Crew the lead here in inning number 6. Here's the 2-1. Blake Wood spent most of last year with AAA Indianapolis. Actually was all of last year in the minor leagues. Pirates system. Signed a free agent deal with the Reds back in November. A couple of years with the Royals, a couple of years with the Cleveland Indians. 3-1 pitch.
And what with the breaking pitch? A slider at 89 miles an hour. Pretty good arm.
And full count now to Perez. Driven in 5 as a Brewer. A chance to increase it here if he can, but this is hit in the air to shallow rights, and Jay Bruce will make the catch. And a chance is missed here for Milwaukee. It remains 4-3 Cincinnati. Reds lead the Brewers here at Great American Ballpark. Hey, Stream, the Brewers on the go. Stop by the Fox Sports Go booth on Saturday, May 14th when the Brewers take on the Padres. Download the app and get a free prize. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com and click on upcoming events for details. Brewers picking up a run in the top half of the 6th, but they strand 2 runners at second and third. Guerra back on there for his 6th inning of work. Phillips, Bruce, and Duvall here for Cincinnati. Phillips a couple of fly balls today, 1 to center and 1 to left. Has gone deep in 4 straight games.
That fly ball to center, I thought it had a chance early in the game, first at bat.
Yeah, Ramon Flores able to run it down in front of that 404 sign in dead center. Oh, 0-2 the count to the Reds' second baseman. And he will go down swinging as Lucroy will go ahead and apply the tag. Phillips dancing up the line a little bit. Never mind.
He even has fun striking out. How many guys have fun after they strike out, right? Good guy, Brandon Phillips. Good split change right there. Lucroy can't find it. Then Phillips figures, I better make it a little bit more difficult on Lucroy. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to run down to first base here. Anything wrong with having fun playing this game?
No. And few show it more than Phillips.
Right. I mean, good for him. He enjoys what he's doing. Why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah. Popular guy around here. A lot of folks thought he was going to be moved during the offseason, but likes being a Red. He and Joey Votto starting together for the 1,001st time in their careers. First second base combo. Jay Bruce, a strikeout in the second, a fly ball to left in the fourth. A swing and a miss for Bruce. Well, the difference in the game right now, a 3-run third for Cincinnati. All started with a walk to Ramon Cabrera.
And triple, double, single.
Yeah, Holt, De Jesus, and Votto.
Yeah, the 4 hits for the Reds. The cycle, right? Home run, triple, double, single.
That's what's gotten them their runs. Duvall, a solo shot in the fourth. 2-2 pitch. We've seen Guerra be very sharp. He was in the first 2 innings. Took care of the Reds in order in the fifth. Strikeout of Phillips to start inning number 6.
Hey, you gotta like the way Junior Guerra has been able to handle himself his first 2 starts. 4 runs today, and really, when you think about it, in both of the starts, it's been 1 inning that really got him. 3 runs in the third, 3 consecutive 2-out hits.
Bruce will send one out of play again.
And a 3-run third in his first start against the Angels. Something about that third inning.
Against LA, he's settled down, trying to do the same here this afternoon. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And that's another strikeout for Junior Guerra. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th.
That slider that hung up there, but again, it's the speed that got him. Same thing that pitch that struck Bruce out in the second inning. Right down the middle, but Bruce out in front of it. That's not a pitch you want to throw too often to a big league hitter. But it worked out. Center cut.
Especially Jay Bruce, right?
Yeah.
Against the Brewers. Here's Adam Duvall. Opposite field homer for Duvall his last trip. Seen about enough of this guy for a while too.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
Count is even, a ball, a strike. Ball is homered in 4 of his last 6 games with that opposite field shot here this afternoon. 27-year-old. Played his college ball at the University of Louisville. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That's split change from Junior Guerra.
That's a good pitch. I mean, really late breaking when he keeps it down in the strike zone. It is a very good swing and miss pitch.
Guerra has struck out Phillips, and he has struck out Bruce. Ahead 1-2 on Adam Duvall. He's going to feel that one. Guerra can get through this, that would be his first 2 big league outings, going 6 innings. In today's game, that matters quite a bit. Guerra ready, and here comes the 1-2. Tries the fastball. 31-year-old from Venezuela, Junior Guerra. Worked a long time, waited a long time for an opportunity like this. Here's the 2-2. The count now full to Duvall.
Everything in. I mean, for strikes anyway. Tried to catch that inside corner with that last split change, but just missed.
Now the 3-2. Another extended at bat. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 in the Milwaukee order. Moving into the 7th inning. See if Guerra can finish things off here in the 6th. And again, pitch number 8, Guerra versus Duvall. Here it comes. And he strikes out the side. Junior Guerra. Last 2 innings, the Reds retired in order, striking out the side here, getting Brandon Phillips, getting Jay Bruce, and getting Adam Duvall. Good work from Guerra. It remains a 1-run game. Brewers moving to the top of the 7th. Final game of this series. Let's get back to our CarSoup.com trivia question. Who's the oldest player in Brewers history to hit a home run?
That's easy.
Yeah.
Yep. Hammerin' Hank.
42 years, 166 days. Hank Aaron.
You know, the trivia question should be easy on Sunday.
Of course.
Right? The day of rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't a day of rest for the grounds crew here in Cincinnati.
No, a 1 hour, 55-minute rain delay before we got started here today. But a job well done by the crew here at Great American Ballpark. Their first rain delay this season. They had a ton of them. They dealt with a year ago. Owen Flores leading off.
Home and road, I think they were calculating, what was it, over 24, 25 hours of rain delays?
Yeah.
For Cincinnati last year.
A full day of delay.
That you'll never get back. But it's what do you do during the rain delays? I mean, it could be a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. How do you manage that time? Blake Wood, the third pitcher used by the Reds. Ramon Flores had a couple of hits last night. He has struck out twice so far in this game. 3-0 the count. And that's a 4-pitch walk. Goes all the way to the backstop. Well, the tying run on here in the top of the 7th for Milwaukee.
Yep, those leadoff walks.
Wood will be working against a pinch hitter as the day is done for Junior Guerra. Kirk Neuenhuis.
I would imagine Junior Guerra thinking about that third inning, those 3 consecutive base hits with 2 outs to allow Cincinnati to put 3 runs on the board. Other than that, I mean, you could say that about both of his starts, other than that third inning. But still able to eat up 6 innings for Counsell.
And that one will get away from Cabrera. And moving on to second is Ramon Flores.
I'm not sure what's going on out there with Cabrera. Give him a wild pitch, but you know, certainly, you know, the one before that, last inning, could have been a pass ball. And just kind of trying to backhand that one, not getting down on it, and back to the screen.
Yeah, that last inning, what was ruled a wild pitch, had runners at second and third, but the Brewers were unable to convert. They did pick up a run in the inning, but had a chance to get some more, but did not. Chance here now for Neuenhuis to tie the game here with a base hit.
It's almost as if Cabrera was crossed up the way he went after it. They didn't go out and have a chat, which means he probably was not crossed up, just didn't handle it very well.
And a 2-0 count to Neuenhuis. And Blake Wood having trouble locating the strike zone. 7 straight balls now. It's a 3rd round pick by the Royals in 2006. And another 4-pitch walk. So runners at first and second for the Brewers in the 7th.
And that's going to get that Reds bullpen busy again if it wasn't busy already. Hey, today's time of the game winner is Quinn's in Deerbrook. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
And another conference required as Mark Riggins back out there as Blake Wood has thrown 8 straight outside the strike zone. John Lamb went the first 4 and then had to leave the game because of a sprained left thumb. That was while he was facing Hernan Perez. That last pitch that he threw trying to curveball, it was clocked at 58 miles an hour, and they came out to take a look at him. He tried to warm up a couple of times, but that thumb just wasn't responding. You're looking at J.C. Ramirez in the Reds bullpen. Saw him a couple of innings last night. But Lamb had to leave. Delabar came in, pitched an inning and 2/3, and now Blake Wood finished the 6th inning and struggling here in the 7th. Here's Alex Presley. Into the game with 7 hits over his last 4 games. Hitless in 3 trips here this afternoon as the sarcastic cheers for Wood as he delivers a strike. The 1 pitch. With the gas there at 96.
Yeah, right at the knees. One at the top of the strike zone, one at the bottom of the strike zone.
A 2-strike hole for Alex Presley, the right fielder. Flores the runner at second. Neuenhuis is at first. That requires a block from Cabrera.
And much easier to block him when it's a breaking pitch. You really don't expect the fastball to be in the dirt, which is what the 2 pitches that got by him were. Fastballs that were spiked in front of him.
1-2.
Blake Wood facing Alex Presley. Scoring chance here for Milwaukee in inning number 7. Here comes the 1-2. And Cabrera unable to hang on. Foul tip.
Tried to sell it. Apparently went in the dirt first. And you see him scoop it up. He did. It was in the glove, but he dropped it right there and then picked it up. Good call back there behind home plate.
1-2.
Sean Barber calling the balls and strikes here this afternoon. Again, the 1-2 coming. A little bouncing ball to Votto. The play will be at first. Kind of like a bunt right there. The runners advance second and third with 1 out.
Well, put it in play and help your team. You advance a couple of base runners for the 2-3 hitters. Good job by Presley to be able to make contact.
A productive out from Alex Presley. 30-year-old continues to impress. And here's Jonathan Villar. Let's see if he can pick him up. He has 8 RBIs this season. A blow-by fastball there. He's popped to short, has Villar, fly to center and line to left. Been very good at getting on base this season. Reaching safely in 25 of his 28 games. Couple of fastballs now, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Able to take and check is Villar.
And went with a slider, a couple of fastballs, and slider down and in. Same thing he did to Presley.
1-2.
Brewers with 5 hits in the game, 4 for Cincinnati. A ball, 2 strikes to Villar. There's a bouncing ball to De Jesus. This is going to tie the game as the out at first. Scoring is Flores, and it's a 4-4 ball game.
Yeah, good situational hitting by the Brewers. First, Presley advances the base runners, and then you get Villar to be able to put the ball in play with the infield back and driving in a run. So the leadoff walk, Flores, comes around to score.
Without the benefit of a hit. Let's see what Ryan Braun can do. He's had a good day again. 2 for 2 with a walk, a homer, a double, a walk in the 4th inning. Eight-game hitting streak for Ryan in that stretch. 15 for 34 in that run. Continues to be terrific. 500 with runners in scoring position. In at 97 from Blake Wood.
Yeah, they caught him looking slider right there. That was right in a Ryan Braun wheelhouse, outer half.
Two strikes and nothing to Ryan Braun. Stays with the fastball. Once again, the Brewers have fought back. They have been behind most of the weekend. Came back to win last night. Rallied from 3 down here earlier in the game to tie it at 4. 1-2 to Braun. Strike 3 called. Got him on a fastball at 97. But the Brewers have tied the game here in Cincinnati with runs in each of the last 3 innings. 4-4 the score as we keep it here at Great American Ballpark on what has turned out to be a decent Mother's Day in Cincinnati after an hour 55 minute rain delay. This is Reds Public Address announcer Joe Serhusen.
Major League Baseball, the Reds and the Brewers salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome mother and daughter duo Rose Christoffel and Cora Inderhees as they lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The second straight game, Junior Guerra goes 6 innings and ends up really pitching well for the Brewers. The Reds were able to get to him. The big inning was the third, a 3-run third, but take a look at these punch outs here, including striking out the side in his last inning, which was the 6th, getting Phillips Bruce and Adam Duvall. So again, a pretty good day's work again for Guerra.
Well, no doubt, because he was able to eat up 6 innings, and then the pattern that he's kind of established in his first 2 starts. I know it's only 2 starts, but it seems as though he gets stronger as the game goes on. And had it not been for needing to pinch hit for him in a close game, he probably would have been still out there. It's count pretty good.
Yeah, tie game here at Cincinnati. Pacheco leads off here for the Reds in the bottom half of the 7th. And a fly ball out to right field. Lots of room for Alex Presley. 1 out.
Yeah, Capuano last pitched here against the Reds on Thursday, tossed 2 scoreless innings. 2 scoreless innings that included 5 punch-outs. He's got 17 strikeouts in 16 innings so far this year, and doing a heck of a job out of that Brewers bullpen. One of 2 now, again, left-handers in that bullpen. Michael Kirkman added to the roster yesterday.
So back to 2 lefties, making that move, of course, after the Brewers recently sent or designated for assignment for Sam Freeman. And there's a diving stop, Aaron Hill, but cannot make the play at first as Ramon Cabrera is on.
Dangerous for Capuano. That was right back at his head. Aaron Hill with a valiant effort, but a little bit too late, even with the catcher running down the line. Check this out. Want to be a pitcher? Look out. Right off the end of the bat, and Aaron Hill made it close. That's a nice play by Hill.
Laying out, but infield single for Cabrera, and now Eugenio Suarez will pinch hit. So 1 out, 1 on in the 7th. Can that Brewers bullpen deliver again? It's been good in this series.
And no mistakes inside on this guy. He likes to pull the baseball, and he can hit it hard in there.
6 home runs. He and Phillips and Duvall each with 6 this season for the Reds. We've seen Suarez at 3rd throughout this series. Jordan Pacheco getting a call here today. Brewers have tied this game with runs in innings 5, 6, and 7 after the Reds broke out to a 4-1 lead. Chris Capuano is on now. 1-1 pitch. Fastball missing inside.
And that's where you want to miss. If you come inside on this guy, don't miss out over the plate. Change-up's a good pitch to him, and Capuano's got a dandy.
Let's see what he brings here with a 2-1 count on Suarez.
Change-up.
Both teams with 5 hits. Now the 3, what? Check first, a throw over to first. Cabrera there. Infield single after Pacheco skied to right here to start this inning. Say he checked. And
wow.
Wow. I thought I was about to say full count. Guess not.
Yeah, yeah. Make contact on that. You might hit it out of the ballpark. Check it out. And not a good angle here, but now maybe. He pops the hips open and watch the bat. Does it go through the plate? Yes, it does. I mean, that's not even close. How do you miss that? That's terrible.
And potentially really big. Instead of 2 out, 1 on, it's the other way around. Jonathan Lucroy will get everything organized defensively here. Cabrera at second. Suarez at first. Top of the order now for Tyler Holt. Run scoring triple for him in the 3rd inning. A fly ball to right in the 1st. A ground ball to 3rd in inning number 5. Capuano up against it here in the 7th. thing in this series, the Reds, we've talked a lot about their early runs, but we've had long, quiet stretches in this game. Brewers hoping to keep it that way. But a threat here for Cincinnati.
Man, one of the few times in the series that the Reds have been able to put together multiple hits in an inning. That was a third in which they didn't hit a home run. I mean, a lot of their run production over the last week or so has been home runs. Keep them in the ballpark, you have a chance.
Break even pitch. And it scoots Holt away.
Yeah, those 3 for 3 all in the third inning.
A walk, a triple, a double, and a single. Part of that third inning for the Reds. 2 balls, 1 strike to Tyler Holt. There's David Goforth getting loose for Milwaukee. Milwaukee trying to fight its way back to get a split in this series. Capuano brings the 3-1. And the count is now full. Remember, Holt runs really well.
Yeah, tough to double him up. And pitch up and away and kind of flares it into the seats. I doubt you're going to see the runners on the move here. You got the catcher out there at second base, but you don't know.
Big pitch here, the veteran Capuano against the Reds center fielder Tyler Holt. Here it comes. Runners are on the move. Lifted into right field. That's Presley. And the runners retreat, 2 men out.
Yeah, thinking that Holt's not going to strike out and maybe avoid the double play by putting the runners in motion. And runners take off. Capuano with looked like a changeup. And Holt, an easy out there in the right field.
One more out to get to escape this trouble here in the 7th. Ivan De Jesus struck out in the first, RBI double in the third, and a fly ball to right his last trip. So let's see if the Brewers can get out of it and keep this game tied. After the first pitch to right field, Presley out of trouble. Big threat for the Reds. The Brewers say not now, and we're still tied at 4.
Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Lucroy with the Brewers. Just want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. To all the mothers out there, couldn't do it without you, and especially to my mom, Karen. Love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Hey, happy Mother's Day to all. Nice message from Jonathan Lucroy. Really good story. You can dial it up now. Adam McCalvey, who covers the Brewers for MLB.com, had a piece about Walsh and Colin Walsh and his mother Erin, and her battle with health that she is winning right now. It's a really nice story, and I want to check that out. Good work done by those who cover this ball club on a regular basis. The Scribes, Adam McCalvey.
Yeah,
Nice
they
piece.
all these guys have personal stories that they deal with, good and bad, and certainly affect the way they play the game, just like it would anybody.
Ross Ollendorf with that old school windup. Seeing it again here today as he faces Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah, we saw him a couple of nights ago, and well, actually last night, and
Yes.
pitched an inning, a 3-up, 3-down inning, and was taken out right after that inning, and that's when the Brewers were able to erupt for those 7 runs in the 10th.
Lucroy turns on one, left field, and it's gone. And the Brewers take the lead.
Happy Mother's Day, Karen. Jonathan's mom, and that put a smile on her face if she's watching, and Jonathan didn't waste any time there. Boy, he hit a bullet. That was a 1-0 changeup, and he knocks it out of here way back and left. Let's check it out. Changeup that stayed middle, and Lucroy turns on it, and back-to-back days for Jonathan Lucroy with home runs.
Giving him 3 on the season. Here's Chris Carter. Well, the Brewers scored the first run of the game, and then the Reds rallied to take a 4-1 lead, but now the Crew has scored in each of the last 4 innings. Now a 5-4 lead for Milwaukee.
Yeah, that one didn't take long to get out of here, did it? That
No.
was a line drive out of here to left.
Carter looks at a fastball, is down a ball, 2 strikes. Let's take a look at that home run derby we're calling it here, and it is that. 11-8 Milwaukee here in this series. Jumping off the bats here in Cincinnati. Carter had one of those on Thursday night.
I guess every series that's played here, you might have a home run derby totals, right?
It's yeah, it would be an exception to the rule if that was not the case.
Right.
So it seems.
A lot of homers here.
3-2 pitch. And that will take care of Chris Carter, out number 1 here in the 8th.
Hey, if this game were being played at Miller Park, all kids 14 and under would be enjoying a free lunch, because every Sunday at Miller Park, kids eat free compliments of Pick and Save, Blue Bunny, and Heinz. Learn more at brewers.com/promotions. And if this game was played at Miller Park, we'd be going home after the game.
Yeah, this bad boy would have started on time.
On time, and we'd have enjoyed Mother's Day.
If only.
More importantly. Darn.
Hour 55 on the delay today.
Yep.
These people who just don't put roofs over it, what's going on?
Yeah, come on.
The kids, you'll eat free next Sunday at Miller Park.
Yeah, good deal.
There's Aaron Hill, big part of this home run derby for the Brewers. 3 bombs last night, including a grand slam in the 10th. And he goes the other way for a base hit here, and that'll extend his hitting streak to 9 games.
Yep, goes right with it on a pitch up and away, and he's starting to see the ball well. I mean, he's starting to get some hits to fall. It's a 1-1 pitch on a fastball away, and he goes right with it. A nice easy swing, and not much of a leg kick. kind of lifts it up barely and then puts it down, and a base hit to right.
One out, one on, one in here for the Brewers in the 8th. Hernan Perez, he went deep in the 5th inning. It was off of Steve Delabar. Aaron Hill with the 7th hit for the Brewers here this afternoon. Hill has a couple of stolen bases. Cabrera keeps it close enough. Tucker Barnhart not in the lineup today. Ramon Cabrera gets the opportunity.
Cabrera doesn't use that batting glove under the catcher's mitt. A bit unusual. Get a better feel for that glove when you don't.
What Rock's talking about there with the Reds catcher. 2 balls, no strikes to Perez. Perez has homered 3 times since his call up on April 28th. He homered once in 90 games for Milwaukee last year. 3-1 count now.
And the guy that can help you in a lot of different ways. You move him around the infield. He's been giving you some good at bats. And loves to use right field, especially with 2 strikes.
Back in there at third base today for the Crew. Cut and a miss there at a fastball.
Three, two.
33-year-old Ross Ollendorf. Greeted by Lucroy here in the inning with a solo homer. Payoff pitch coming. Hill's running. Pitch swung on and missed. Throw down to second, and it's a strike him out, throw him out double play. Cabrera throws out Hill trying to steal, but the Brewers take the lead courtesy of this man, Jonathan Lucroy. Maybe another memorable Mother's Day home run for a Brewer. avoid being thrown out. We'll show you what that looked like again here momentarily as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Turned into a strike him out, throw him out double play, but a Lucroy home run gives the Brewers the lead. Votto leads off. Check this out.
Going to be up by plenty, but then he comes up short, and Phillips just barely able to get him on the thigh. Right there, that's pretty good effort by Aaron Hill. A little Rudolph Nureyev action. How about that? Quick on your feet. Almost able to get there. We could see right on the inner thigh. Phillips able to apply the tag.
Almost. 0-2 to Votto. Tyler Thornburg on for the Brewers.
You know who Nureyev runs, right?
Of course, well, yeah. Thank you. It was very nice.
Ballet.
Very well played.
Yeah, just for those who didn't know.
Well, yeah.
There you see the numbers for Tyler pitched last night. A scoreless inning that included a couple of strikeouts.
One-run lead for the Brewers, bottom of the 8th. Votto, Phillips, Bruce here for Cincinnati.
How about Mikhail Baryshnikov? Would that be a?
That would be good.
Same. I didn't mean
that would mean more. That would mean more to me.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
I know your knowledge of that.
No, I'm not.
That area much more extensive than mine.
But the way you looked at me, I didn't want to insult you.
Don't ever worry about that. That's what we do around here.
Right. We try our best not to insult each other.
No, we try our best to insult each other. It's just kind of how things seem to be. And that works. 2-2 pitch. And just a piece there for Votto. Struck out. RBI single in the 3rd and a ground out to short in the 5th. Thornburg following up Chris Capuano. After Junior Guerra went the first 6, and Votto goes down swinging, 1 out in the 8th.
Yeah, blew him away with a fastball, 95 miles an hour. Second time Votto has been struck out today. Blew it right by him. Here it is, hit it. And Votto comes up empty.
Has only had 2 games where he has given up runs. The first time that happened was at Minnesota. It was a blown save that turned into a winning decision for him. Brewers were able to get a run in the 9th against the Twins up at Target Field. On Wednesday back at Miller Park, the Angels got to him a 4th spot in 2/3 of an inning, but otherwise he has been clean. Very, very effective. 0-1 to Phillips.
It only takes one bad outing to get that earned run average up there.
Quickly ahead, 2 strikes. Nasty offering there to Phillips.
Back-to-back curveballs. First one for a strike, second one out of the zone.
2-strike pitch to Brandon Phillips. Tried it again, and Phillips takes. Said it all weekend. Inside stuff, he can turn on it.
Yeah, keep it away from him.
Comes the 1-2. Fastball is fouled away.
How about the sleeve for Phillips?
Got it going on.
Got the floral pattern. Got some pink in there.
Always flashy. Showing a lot of power these last few games. Quiet so far today. And there's a roller over to VR. There are 2 men out in the 8th. Let's check out Miller Lite's What's on Tap. Brewers head to Miami as Willie Peralta back on the mound for the Brewers against Jose Fernandez. Davies and Adam Conley. Remember him on Tuesday. Chase Anderson and Wei Yin Chen on Wednesday. Our coverage tomorrow starts at 5:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
And that's two lefties that the Brewers saw at Miller Park.
Adam Conley, of course, of 7 2/3 innings of no-hit ball. Marlins had a combined no-hitter going for 8 1/3 until Lucroy broke it up. Not only did the Brewers break it up, they nearly came back to win the game. 0-1 the count to Jay Bruce. He is 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a fly ball. This ball missing for Thornburg.
That's where you want to pitch him. You don't want to pitch him down. He can get to that Thornburg fastball around the knees, mid-thigh, but up around the belt, tough. That's the one he likes.
Bruce had a hit last night. Thornburg trying to get through a 1-2-3 eighth inning. So far so good. A strikeout of Votto, a ground ball from Phillips. Here comes the 1-2 to Jay Bruce. And that'll do it here in the eighth inning. Couple of punch outs for Thornburg as the Reds go down in order. We move to the ninth. The Brewers lead Cincinnati 5-4. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. A 5-4 lead for the Brewers as again they play catch-up here today against Cincinnati as we move to the ninth inning. Great America Ballpark. It's turned out to be a nice day after an hour 55-minute rain delay. Lone Flores leading off as Ross Ohlendorf stays in there for the Reds. Well, there's a couple of strikeouts. Drew a walk in the seventh inning. Came around to score. John Lamb started for the Reds, went 4 innings, was pitching well until he had to leave because of a sprained left thumb. Steve Delabar gave up a couple of runs. Blake Wood a run. Ohlendorf was greeted by Jonathan Lucroy. That's the difference right now. A solo shot from Lucroy in the eighth. One-two pitch coming to Flores. That's strike 3 called, and there's out number 1.
That's a pretty good curveball right there. You know, it's interesting in watching Ohlendorf. I mean, he stands up there, he puts the ball in his glove, and then he does that big windup with the ball in his glove, not in his throwing hand. And as he brings the glove up, he grips the baseball. I guess you have to do that if you're showing the baseball in that big windup. I guess guys can see how you're gripping it and maybe tip your pitch. You see no ball, and then he grabs it, gets the grip, and then throws his pitch. A lot going on there.
Yeah, a little turn back the clock delivery. 33-year-old. Princeton University. Colin Walsh pinch hitting now for Milwaukee. Walsh has a hit as a pinch hitter, 1 for 11. He's had the most opportunities as a pinch hitter for the Brewers. Alex Presley, when he's been in that role, has by far been the most productive. Presley getting a lot of work in the lineup in right field, and that has continued here today.
Yep, the bat plays. I mean, that's the old saying, right? If you're swinging the bat, they'll find a place for you.
And he is swinging the bat, talking about Presley. Full count now to Colin Walsh. He has a hit in this series. Here's the payoff. Carry into the seats. There is Jeremy Jeffress. Getting ready for a save opportunity.
And the bottom half of the Reds order coming up.
And Walsh does what he does very well, and that's draw a base on balls. It's been a very unusual stat line for Colin, hitting it just a little over 100, but the on base percentage at 327, and that's why all those walks that he draws. And that's the 11th. I think of the 12th walk that Colin Walsh has drawn. So back to the top of the order. Here's Presley. 0 for 4 here this afternoon. He'll lift this one into left field. Duvall on the run. Goes out number 2.
Man, we talk about Colin Walsh and all the walks. It really doesn't it's not congruent in that he walks a lot but has a very, very low batting average, because if you're walking, that means you're not swinging the pitches out of the strike zone. And when you're swinging at strikes, you're going to get hits. That's just kind of the way it goes, and hasn't been the case for him at this point.
See if they can find a way to bring him around. Jonathan Villar. RBI ground out his last trip. The Brewers again have clawed their way back into the lead. Runs in the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th after trailing 4-1. Villar's average sitting at 260 right now. On base percentage at 368. Ohlendorf has missed 3 straight times against Jonathan Villar.
I'd love to be able to get Ryan Braun up there again.
Here comes the 3-0.
And because of the guy on deck, you got to figure Villar is going to get a good pitch to hit here. That last one 3-0 right down the middle.
Juan with a couple of hits already today, including a home run. Count runs full now on Villar. Consistently, he has been able to reach base.
3-2.
7-game hitting streak for Villar on the line right now. Walsh will be on the move. Three-two pitch, and that'll end the inning. Villar strikes out. So Ohlendorf gives up a walk, but that's it. And it's time for Jeremy Jeffress, called upon to secure the win and add another save to an impressive start to his season. The Brewers have rallied from 3 down. Bottom of the 9th we go. It's 5-4 Milwaukee. Chance for the Brewers to get a split in this series. 5-4 Milwaukee, and it's Jeremy Jeffress time.
Yeah, Jeremy actually pitched in the bottom of the 9th inning, a non-save situation. A little unusual, but Craig Counsell said he wanted to do the best that he could to get the middle of the order up for the Brewers in the 10th. He needed to get it to the 10th inning, and Jeremy is able to get the job done. A save situation here for him. 7 for 7 so far, and he's got the bottom half of the Reds batting order coming up, but they do have some firepower on the bench.
Most definitely do, as you see the workload here for Jeffress over the last week. Firepower on the bench, and firepower the leadoff man in this 9th inning for the Reds in Adam Duvall, who went deep an opposite field homer in the 4th inning. 6 on the year for Duvall, 4 of them coming within the last week. Reds with just 5 hits in this game. And a fastball in there to get things started for Jeremy Jeffress. Game has started nearly 2 hours late. But the Brewers won't mind if they can close this one out.
Jeremy pretty much went with the fastball last night in that appearance. He looked good in that 9th inning last night.
Got through it, giving up what turned out to be a harmless single to right. exactly what Craig Counsell needed him to do. He wanted to get his big guns another opportunity, and Brewers put 7 on the board in the 10th to win it.
Yeah, going against the grain and bringing your closer in a tie game on the road. It worked.
2-1 pitch. Hoping for a happy flight to South Florida here. Has been terrific in this role, Jeffress. Looking for save number 8. Here's the 2-2 to right field. And there's Alex Presley, and there is out number 1.
Yeah, there's that good movement for Jeremy, just coming in on the right-handed batter right at the last second, and got in on his hands. Good pitch. Certainly don't want to leave that pitch out over the plate. He didn't. You can see number 5 right on the inside corner. Lucroy setting up in there. Started out looking like a good pitch to hit, but that late movement got in on his hands.
1 out, base is empty here in the 9th. Here's Jordan Pacheco. Hitless today, 185 his batting average this season. The 30-year-old out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, signed with the Reds back in the middle of January. A 1-0. Hit at 97.
He's got some good movement with it too. It's really moving well today. It's always a good sign. And not only does he get the movement in on a right-handed hitter, but when he gets on top of that pitch, like it seems like he's doing today, he gets some sink.
Here comes the 1-1. Back up the middle and into center field. 1 out single for Jordan Pacheco here in the 9th.
Well, Cabrera, the number 8 hitter, coming up. He's looking in there and see if Ryan Price wants to go to a pinch hitter. That was a pretty good job of hitting by Pacheco, pulling the hands in and hitting it hard into center field.
And they will pinch run as Billy Hamilton now is in. Hamilton last night in the first inning stole 2 bases, scored the first run of the night on a throwing error as he was stealing third, and was able to come around and score.
Yeah, secret weapon coming off the bench, right? I mean, you pinch run, pretty good chance he's going to steal a base. You can run on Jeremy.
As you see, he has yet to be caught. Here's Ramon Cabrera, infield single his last trip. And he takes a strike on a Jeffress fastball. That single was the first hit that left the infield for the Reds since the Duvall homer in the 4th. Cabrera's hit was an infield hit in the 7th. 0-1 the count to the Reds catcher. See if Jeffress can get a ground ball here. Runner holds, pitch away.
Not sure what Billy Hamilton's waiting for. You know he's going to steal, just a matter of when.
A couple of years ago, he was caught 23 times. Got that way back last year, just 8. Has yet to be caught stealing this year. The ball is strike to Cabrera. Runner holds. Liner to center field, and the catch is made by Ramon Flores.
Yeah, nice jump on that baseball. Cabrera swinging it well today in a line drive. Flores able to make up a lot of ground coming in and able to catch it on the dive. Nice play by Ramon Flores, and sometimes that's a difficult read for a center fielder, that one right at him.
Brewers 1 out away from getting a split. Jeremy Jeffress giving up a single to Jordan Pacheco. 1 on, 2 out. And here is Zach Cozart coming in to pinch hit. And he has done damage here in this series. 5 for 14. Check over at first.
It might be the last guy you want to see up in this situation. And Zach Cozart, far and away their best hitter so far this year. Good contact hitter.
Ranks 5th in the National League with that .344 batting average.
Now, the one thing you don't want to do is spend too much time worrying about Hamilton here. I mean, if he steals the base, so be it. You still get the out, the game's over. And sometimes that guy will distract you so much, you end up making a mistake to the hitter.
Limited chances for Cozart, but nothing doing so far against Jeffress. The 2 times they have matched up. Runner holds. The fastball misses to Cozart. Looking to earn his 8th save is Jeremy Jeffress. Brewers one time trailed by 3 here today. Now trying to hang on and get a 1-run win. Runners on the move. Pitch is taken. The throw down to second is out at second. Lucroy throws him out, and the Brewers win it.
Well, you know they're going to take a look at it, but Billy Hamilton thinks he's out. And they're not even going to question that. They don't have to look at it. Why not? They're going to take a look at it at second base. Billy Hamilton went right back into the dugout right away, so that gives you an idea that he thinks he's out. Not a very good jump. The throw low, and that's pretty close over there at second base. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough to overturn it, but they're going to look at it, and if I were the Reds, I'd do the same.
Oh yeah,
and nothing to lose.
Brewer players looking up at the big video board here, and headsets are on with the umpire crew.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. I don't see anything there that's going to overturn this. This is a heck of a play by Aaron Hill to swipe the front of the bag and not reach for Hamilton. Watch where he puts the glove. It's going to be very close, but the question is there enough to overturn it?
It would be the 9th caught stealing for Lucroy if the play stands, and it does, and the Brewers win it.
Wow. Boy, what a job.
Wow. Jonathan Lucroy with the what turned out to be game-winning homer, and then throws out Billy Hamilton as the Brewers win the game and split the series.
Nobody would have thought the game would have ended like that. I mean, everybody thinking that Billy Hamilton is going to steal the base. Foregone conclusion most of the time that he's going to make it. The throw skipped, a great play by Aaron Hill.